You are Locked On Heat POSTCAST. Part of Locked On Sports Miami on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
What is up, Heat fan? Welcome to your Heat POSTCAST on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. My name is Jim Grieshaber. Call me Grease, in a tough one tonight to open the playoffs as Miami goes on the road and loses one to Cleveland. And, man, you kind of saw this one coming if you were watching from the beginning. And Miami hanging around throughout the game. And that was one thing that was impressive to me. Just give me a second here, guys. Get this squared away for us. Right here. And we are, where are we there? There we go. Right there. All right. My apologies, guys. All right, there we go. We got it locked in. Cavs take game one. Look at that face on Tyler Hero. Tough one tonight for Miami against the Cavs. We'll take you through it. They lose by 21, and really this game was pretty close throughout. Miami was down by 7 at the end of one, down by 8 at halftime, down by 8 at the end of the third, and then late in the fourth, the Cavs just pulled away. And that vaunted Miami zone, the one that gave Chicago fits and Atlanta fits, where Kobe and Young and all those guys, Kobe White and Trae Young, and he's having trouble shooting against that zone. Go figure tonight that it was Ty Jerome who just killed it. Just absolutely killed it for the Cavs. His first playoff game. Go figure, right? The guy ends up scoring 20 of the 28 points during a stretch of the fourth quarter for Cleveland. And if you ask any Heat fan, if you ask Spo before the game, if you ask anybody with a brain who covers the game, analyzes the game of basketball, hey, what would you do if you're Miami and you go into the game and you think, hey, it's going to be in the hands of Ty Jerome? Look, Donovan Mitchell beat you like a drum early, but you made the adjustments, and then Ty Jerome kills you. Anybody would take that. You take that every single time that he makes the plays. That's just a great job by him, and sometimes, you tip the cap, right? You tip the proverbial cap if you're the Miami Heat. We have a lot to get to tonight on the show. Heat POSTCAST on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Want to thank you for being here with me. We know that you have a lot of choices, but you know that we're free, right? Right here on YouTube, free on Roku, download OTT. Yeah, you know me, this whole party. Even though a little bit of Miami's party came to an end tonight. More on that throughout the show, though. You'd be surprised at the number and the streak that they're actually on. And we are also free on Spotify, Apple, iHeart, wherever you get your podcast. We're free there as well. And tonight's episode of Your Heat POSTCAST is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can get $200, also $250 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. Let me say that again. Right now, new customers with FanDuel, $250 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins with FanDuel on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. They keep making these deals better and better. And man, oh man, they upped it from $200 to $250. Better get in on that deal now. We got a lot to do and a short time to do it in. What do you say we get moving with your Heat POSTCAST on the Locked On Podcast Network, your Heat every day.
This is what you'll be talking about.
At least you don't look like that, Miami. At least you don't look like that. I mean, can I say that? I mean, there's not a lot of good-looking people in Cleveland. I mean, if you're looking for a moral victory, 121 to 100, that score is upside down. Wishful thinking on my part, right? The 121 should be on the bottom. Home team on the bottom, Jim. Home team on the bottom, Jim. But look at those guys, man. At least you don't have to look in the mirror and see those faces, right? Moral victories, Miami. Moral victories. So 121, 100, you lose this game. And a tough one, right? I mean, look, it just from the beginning, the Cavs came out and they played pretty well. They shot the ball well from the start of the game. They took Miami took that early punch, and it turns out that early punch stood all the way through into the fourth when the Cavs made the late run to put it away and win by 21. But this was literally a 7, 8, 9, 10-point game. There'd be a little mini run to go up like 12-13 by the Cavs. The Heat would cut it back down to 7, maybe even 5 a couple of times, right? And then, you just could never get that one big shot. Against the Bulls, against the Hawks, they were never able to hit those kill shots. Tonight, Ty Jerome did. Ty Jerome hit the kill shots tonight for the Cavs, and he hit a lot of them. What a performance by him. What a performance by Ty Jerome. 121-100 at Rocket Arena. Cleveland, 51.1% shooting, 41.9 from three. Donovan Mitchell, the Spider, 30 points, 4 steals. Ty Jerome, you better call Jerome. I think it's you better call Tyrone, but he's Ty Jerome. You better call Ty Jerome. You know what I'm saying? Erica Badu even wants to call Ty Jerome after that performance tonight. 28 points off the bench for that young cat, and he got it done when the Heat made those adjustments on the spider, Donovan Mitchell, when the big guys, Allen and Mobley, weren't scoring, neutralized by bam, 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 and Khalil Ware, even though Khalil didn't score tonight. And while the Cavs were locking up Tyler, but other guys were scoring for Miami, and that's going to be a problem in this series and moving forward for this Heat team. But, you know, Bam with 24 points, a career high for him in three-point attempts, and that does not bode well for Miami. But when you look at this game overall, and the recap just hit, and we got on the air fast tonight, and there's no air anymore, Jim. Boomer, as my kids call me all the time. But, you know, Cleveland hit their threes early with the big shots, and Miami took that punch. They came back with counter punch, but could never make up that ground. And it was, like I said, the deficit was 7 at the end of 1. The deficit was 8 at halftime. The deficit was 8 again at the end of the third. And then Cleveland really started to put it away around halfway through the fourth. And by that point in time, and a huge storyline in this game is that Tyler Hero was held scoreless by the Cavs from about the 10-minute mark of the third quarter to almost the 3-minute mark of the fourth. Now, I have a University of Miami, shout out to the U. I have a University of Miami degree. In fact, I have 2 of them. I have broadcasting and I have sociology, okay? Now, let me explain something to you. Neither one of them is a math degree, right? So from 10 minutes of the third, 10 minutes on the clock, that means 10 minutes in the third, till the 3-minute mark of the fourth, that's 9 minutes of the fourth. 19 minutes of game time, Tyler Hero was held scoreless by the Cavs tonight. And Bam scored a lot in that stretch. Highsmith had a couple. Davion Mitchell continues to ball so hard and play out of control. Love him. And, you know, they have issues with scoring. Kevin Love's still not playing. I'd love to see him out there. I think in spurts he could really help them against that Cavs front line. He did earlier this year when they played. And remember when the Heat had that 10-game losing streak, which, by the way, they're 10-3 since that losing streak. You know what I mean? But Kevin Love played very well against the Cavs on the road this year in game 2 of that 10-game losing streak off the top of the dome, which is still pretty sharp if I don't say so myself. Kevin Love had a good game in that road game at Cleveland, and they could use him in this series at some point. So, again, you're going to stay locked in with your Heat podcast, Locked On Heat podcast, with the guys doing a great job day in, day out. After the games, you'll have me with a recap. So hit that subscribe. Tap that bell as well so you get the alerts when we're coming your way with more content. And I promise I won't start the show with the TV off anymore. So Donovan Mitchell, 30 points. Ty Jerome, you better call Ty Jerome. 16 of his 28 points in the fourth quarter, had 20 of 28 points scored by the Cavs during one stretch as you pick your ways for them to beat you. You got to live with it if you're Miami. You got to live with it. You're going to say Ty Jerome beat you. He's not going to do it 7 times, and he doesn't have to. He only has to do it 4. But you know what I'm saying? In 7 games, I'll be okay. There's the University of Miami degree again. But, I mean, really, Donovan Mitchell's 7th straight series where he scored at least 30 points in game 1, tying Michael Jordan, who had 2 streaks of 7 games. But Bam 24, Tyler 21 for the Heat. They're the first 10 seed to advance out of the play-in tournament, and they're not going to be around for long with efforts like tonight. But Darius Garland, 27 points for Cleveland as well, was fantastic. So Mitchell and Garland and Jerome, they all shot the ball so well against that vaunted Heat zone, and that's the difference in the game tonight. Field goal percentage. Imagine that, all you stat geeks out there. The game came down to which team shot the ball better and made more shots into, you know what I'm saying, the other team's baskets. It's you can put all the crazy numerical instances to bed sometimes and just look at the basics of the game, and that's what it was tonight, you know. But Miami kept going. I mean, look, you had a 16-point deficit midway through the second quarter, cut it to 8 at the half, 8 at the end of 3, you know. Got it to 98-90 with 7.5 minutes left in the game. They're down by 8 and just could not do it with a 13-4 run. Cleveland put it away. Jerome 6 of 7 during that stretch, all 3 of his 3-point field goal attempts. By the way, Cleveland a 12.5-point favorite. The total was 216.5. The Cavs took care of that in the fourth quarter. Jerome himself, I mean, you better call Ty Jerome. You better call Ty Jerome. And Donovan Mitchell's like, legit, from playing in Utah to playing in Cleveland, think about it. If this dude had played in Chicago or LA or New York or anywhere where LeBron and KD chased rings, anywhere, if he had been in Golden State, can you imagine what we'd be saying about Donovan Mitchell, the Spider? Instead, he's played in Utah and Cleveland, and no one's talked about him. 7 straight game ones with 30 points. This dude should be a multiple-time champion. He's one of the best players of our generation. Donovan Mitchell, the Spider. What a player he is, man. When's this dude going to get his due? And what a night it was for him. You got to take the break, and then a couple things to do before we wrap the show. We got the stars of the game, Mitchell and Jerome and Garland, and Jerome's the one who beat you, though, in the fourth quarter as you're making that search. It was Mitchell early, Garland in spurts throughout the game, and just what a job by the Cleveland Cavaliers. 121-100, Cleveland takes the 1-0 lead in this best-of-7 series, the opening round of the Eastern Conference playoffs. Jim Grieshaber, call me Grease, right here on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. We got a lot more to get to, including starts of the game, turning point, final score, graphic look ahead to game 2, and so much more. But first, a couple of tremendous offers from our great sponsors. And I do mean this. We have great offers from incredible companies. We do it by volume. We do it for you. They love being a part of our network. And here you go. On the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day, 121-100. We're free on YouTube. We're free on Roku. Free wherever you get your podcast. Jim Grieshaber, call me Grease. Still so much more. Stick around. And first up, I'll tell you about our friends at DoorDash. And I really get excited about DoorDash because, number one, I've had a lot of family members who have driven DoorDash to make a little extra money, and it's been good for my family. I've had some people do really well with DoorDash, and DoorDash is so convenient. And I love it whenever I'm just sitting there chilling. I'm like, let's hit up that DoorDash. Let's do it. NBA fans, you know what time it is. Playoff season means big performances and even bigger rewards. And that's why DoorDash is bringing the heat with a slam dunk deal for DashPass members during the 2025 playoffs. It's called They Swoosh, You Score. Anytime a player drops 50 or more points in a playoff game, DashPass members score a free 3-piece crispy tenders combo from Wingstop the very next day. Just place an order of $20 or more. Use the code WINGSTOP50 at checkout, and that combo is yours. Crispy, delicious, and totally free. Offer valid noon to midnight the day after the game. Terms apply. They always apply, right? No doubt about that. And, hey, your go-to move after an epic game is important. It has to be, right? Are you ordering the wings to relive those highlights? Imagine being rewarded with free food just because someone went off for 50 and you're talking about it while you're eating that reward right there. Maybe you looked at your delivery fees and thought, they gotta be a better way than this. With DashPass, 0 delivery fees, exclusive perks like this one. How much would you save over a season? So here's the play. Sign up for DoorDash to unlock this and more exclusive deals all season long. When any player scores 50 points or more in a playoff game, DashPass members can grab a free 3-piece crispy tenders combo from Wingstop the next day with a $20+ order and code WINGSTOP50. That's DashPass, your door to more savings, more flavor, and more ways to win. Terms apply with DashPass. On the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Do that spot 3 times fast. Earning that money there. Come on. There we go. And those deals from you. And also, how about this from FanDuel? We talked about it at the beginning of the show. The bonus is up to $250. Ding, ding, ding. The NBA playoffs are here. And FanDuel is giving new customers an incredible way to get in on the action. Right now, when you join FanDuel and place your first $5 bet, you'll get $250 in bonus bets if your bet wins. I love how FanDuel makes betting so easy for me every time, whether it's picking my favorite team or diving into player props with FanDuel. I just feel like from 3-pointers to steals to assists, FanDuel has so many ways. I can only kick it to you like this in so many ways to bet your favorite player props. Tell me the song. I'll do it at the end of the spot. Plus, after the game tips off, you can even combine live prop bets into a same-game parlay for a chance to win big. Don't miss out. Head to FanDuel.com and claim your $250 in bonus bets today. FanDuel on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Jim Grieshaber, call me Grease. I can only kick it to you like this in so many ways. It's kind of easy when you listen to the G'd up sound. Pioneer speakers bumping as I on the pound. Warren G, this DJB. Warren G, this DJB. Jimmy G. Yeah, Anyway, I don't know where I'm going with that. I'm going down this track of the Heat and the Cavs, right? 121-100. Miami took the big punch early in this game. They're down 1-0 but they've won 10 of 13 since the L streak, right? They clear out the Jimmy mess. They stayed bought in to the Miami Heat culture. They stayed bought in, and Candace Parker did a terrific job tonight. She was talking about it all night long, the Miami Heat culture, the ways that they stay focused throughout the year. They stayed bought into Spo and the system from the Don, Pat Riley, all the way down. They stay bought in, right? They lose 10 in a row. They're taking every shot in the world. The media's all over them. They're hearing about Jimmy. Jimmy goes to Golden State with Steph Curry and Draymond, and oh my God, the Heat of losing. They're losing, but somehow they stay in the play-in, and they're in the 10-seed spot where no one's ever come out of before, but Miami has come out of the play-in a couple of times, right? And we're familiar with this, and we know this, man. So you're not feeling too bad, at least if you were watching me every day, you weren't, because I told you they were going to go to Chicago and win. I told you they were going to go to Atlanta and win. I told you they had packed for 9 days before Tyler said it on national TV and created that storm around that. You knew they were going to do it. You also had to know they were going to go into Cleveland and give them a hell of a fight and a battle tonight. And against a team that hadn't played in a while, you're hoping that momentum, that mass of just ball of momentum and energy and everything that the Heat have going in their favor from those wins on the road would really pay off against a team that hadn't played in a couple days that might be a little bit cold. And throughout stretches they were. But the Heat were down by 7 at the end of 1. They're down by 17 halfway through the second quarter. They claw back. They're down by 8 at halftime, down by 8 at the end of 3. But they could never counterpunch hard enough to get closer to I think it was 8 points. With 7.5 minutes left, they got to win it with an 8. But the Cavs, from holding Tyler scoreless from 10-minute mark of the third to the 3-minute mark of the fourth, which is 19 minutes of game time, to the incredible shooting of Ty Jerome, Garland in spurts, Mitchell with the 30-point game. You don't even realize he has 30. It's like a silent death from him. And, the Cavs are the Cavs. They're the number 1 seed in the East. And no matter how much dopes like me get on here and disrespect them, I don't think they're a true number 1 seed. I think it's Boston. You got to realize you got hit in the mouth by a number 1 tonight. A numero uno came right at you, Miami. And this is how you respond. You get up off the ground, taste a little of that blood, counterpunch. And they did that a lot tonight. So much toughness on the team, starting with Bam. The guys they traded for, unbelievable, from Wiggins to Davion Mitchell to Anderson. The basketball IQ, the defense, the toughness. How do they do it? How do they manage to bring back those guys in a trade for Jimmy? How do they manage to find those guys who fit the Heat culture and the system of Spo and everybody so well? It took time for Mitchell to fit into the offense, but, man, he's a G right now. And how many times have you watched this Heat team, the franchise, throughout the years, just go through the playoffs and make runs? And you see guys like Davion Mitchell and, Bam just like leading the way as the captain, and Tyler's so tough, and Duncan Robinson out there giving it his all. Just a lot of fun to watch this team. And, they're not done yet. There's a lot still coming your way from this team, Miami. Speaking of which, Wednesday is game 2, and that's going to be a lot of fun as well. So this will be a best of, let's see. This will be, this will be, so game 5 would be next Wednesday. Game 2 will be Wednesday, this best of 5 series. I think I said 7 earlier. So best of 5, it'll be a 7:30 tip on NBA TV. We'll be here right after that game with your Heat postcast. Real quick before we get on out of here, a couple of things to get to and a short time to get to them in. Don't forget, Heat Podcast. Your Locked On Heat podcast day in and day out is exactly where you need to be. The guys do an incredible job day in and day out for you there with your Heat Locked On Heat podcast. And, of course, you have your Heat newsletter. That is at LockedOnDaily.com. I'm waiting for this to load real quick. You know what I'm saying? So here we go. Sign up between April 7th and April 30th to be entered for the newsletter, Locked On Heat newsletter. Get a chance to win one of the amazing prizes by subscribing. Okay, so you go to LockedOnDaily.com, and every day, and I can do this without the script because the script's having trouble right now, but every day you get it in your inbox. You get the Heat and NBA news. You get everything you need to stay on top of the Heat and the NBA, the coverage you want right there from your Locked On Heat podcast newsletter. But right now, if you subscribe to that, you're entered to win a $2,500 Best Buy gift card to upgrade your Sportscape setup, a $300 Game Time gift card, or a $200 Fanatics gift card. How about that? Think about those gifts and prizes right there. All right, Jim Grieshaber, call me Grease. Got someone in the comments. Rough time to regroup and steal one. Tough L. Time to regroup and steal one. Rideshare Storm Chaser. Yeah, tough L, but you know what, man? You're down 7 at the end of one, 8 at the half, 8 at the end of the third. You stayed with them all night, and it took an unbelievable shooting performance. Look, Garland went off for 27. Donovan Mitchell scores 30. They needed Ty Jerome to go nuts and have the game of his life, and they held Tyler scoreless for 19 minutes of this game, and they still, you know what I'm saying? They won by 21, but it was very deceiving, that final score. They put it away late. All right, guys, a couple things to get to real quick. Again, Game 2 is on Wednesday, and we'll be here right after that game with your Heat postcast. Real quick, though, before we get on out of here.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
Cavs held Tyler Hero scoreless, and there's another E in scoreless. I guess that had to be a typo just to get it out there. But Tyler Hero scoreless for over 18 minutes of game time, 10 minutes of the third to about 3:05 of the fourth. Ironic that it's 3:05, right? 3:05, get it? But no, Tyler, that's 19 minutes of game time that he's held without a bucket. 19 minutes. And then at the same time, Ty Jerome scoring 20 of 28 for the Cavs. It was Tyler and Mitchell going at it throughout the game. And, you know, Tyler didn't have a bad game tonight. You know, he didn't have a bad game, but he disappeared for that long stretch in the second half, and that was enormous for Miami because he still ended up with 21 points on 7 of 18 shooting, 3 of 6 from 3 for Tyler Hero. Let's do the stars of the game, then we'll hit the box real quick, and we'll get on out of here. The first star of the game for us that we are going to recognize tonight would be Donovan Mitchell of the Cavs, and I have a Ty Jerome one somewhere, but I'm not going to go digging for it. So Ty Jerome was the third star. Obviously, Ty Jerome had a huge night for Cleveland, and you hate when Strus makes anything, the former Heat player. But Ty Jerome off the bench, 10 of 15 shooting, 5 of 8 from 3, 28 points, also had 5 rebounds. Huge night for the Cavs. The man you see on your screen there, Donovan Mitchell, the Spider, 30 points, 5 rebounds. He was 11 of 19, 2 of 9 from 3, 7 straight playoff series. Mitchell scored 30 points or more in game 1. Darius Garland had 27 points tonight. Allen had 12 points, 11 rebounds, 9 and 7 for Mobley. Bam outplayed those guys up front, which leads you to the best Miami Heat player of the game tonight. Yeah, Tyler Hero had 21 points. Wiggins had 14. His play did not hypnotize me tonight, so there's no wiggy, can't you see? Sometimes your play just hypnotizes me. Not tonight. 14 and 6 for Wiggins. Again, 24 and 9 for Bam, just missing a double-double. 21 and 3 for Tyler, but Bam with 24. Mitchell with 18 points and 9 assists for the Heat, just missing a double-double. 8 for Robinson, 8 for Highsmith, and man, they need Kevin Love to be available. But real quick for you, your player of the game for the Heat is Bam Adebayo. Team stats real quick as we go a little bit long. 51% shooting for Cleveland, 48.8% for Miami. They shot well, man. They shot well. 13 of 31 from 3. Could have been a little better there. The Cavs 18 of 43. More made threes. The free throws, Miami 9 of 12. Cleveland 13 of 16. Rebounds, Cavs 42 to 37. Assists, 23-21. Miami turnovers, 14 turnovers for the Heat. Only 8 for Cleveland. Miami's defense needs to force and create more turnovers. Mitchell, Garland, and those guys really great against it. But again, it was you better call Ty Jerome. Ty Jerome beat you tonight. You're going to have to live with that if you're Miami. Largest lead for the Cavs, 21. Largest lead for the Heat was 2. But, hey, they get to run it back in Game 2 on Wednesday. You're down 1, but you've still won 10 of your last 13 games. What a fun ride it's been with this Heat team. All the crap they went through with Jimmy Butler and all the things from the offseason into the season. And then, you're on that 10-game losing streak after Jimmy's gone. And you went through all those things you've been through this year. This group, this team with Bam, with Tyler, the guys who they brought in through those trades, the guys who stepped up throughout the year, the development of Jaquez, the development of Kel'el Ware. And Jaquez has been in the doghouse lately, man, not playing at all. And we're going to leave that one alone. But I'll say this, Kevin Love's presence would really help in this series. Again, the second game, I do believe, of the 10-game losing streak that the Heat had earlier this year when they're 10-3 since then. But the second game of that streak, right? The second game of that streak was in Cleveland, and Love played really well against those guys. All right, thank you so much to FanDuel for being our title sponsor of the show. Thank you to everyone here at Locked On, from David Locke right on down, my boss, Sam Ekstrom, an incredible group of people. Honored to be here. My name is Jim Grieshaber. Call me Gries, G-R-I-E-S, at @JimGries_ on social media. Give me a follow. Give us a subscribe here. Hit the bell so you get the alert when you're coming your way with more content. And, of course, come on into the chat and say hi during the shows. Thank you so much for being the reason we do this. We love you. We appreciate you day in and day out. Come back here for your Locked On Heat podcast right here on YouTube. Free, of course, on Roku as well. You down with OTT? Yeah, you know me, the whole party. And then wherever you get your podcast, which would be Apple, which would be iHeart, you know what I mean, which would be Spotify, any place where you get your podcast, and we will be here free. So thank you so much for all that you do for us, for being here to watch and listen to our content that we take so much pride in putting together for you. Game 2 on Wednesday. Got to steal one on the road. We'll see what happens, and we'll be here right after with your Heat Postcast. Until then, keep your game tight and your mind right, Miami.